From Central Ohio's news leader, this is 10 TV News.
U.S. Senator, war hero, presidential nominee, Senator John McCain has died. Tonight, tributes are pouring in for the man who served his country in many, many ways, including 6 terms in the U.S. Senate. Thank you for joining us for 10 TV News at 11. I'm Scott Light. Senator McCain battled brain cancer. Yesterday, his family released a statement saying he would no longer seek treatment for it. He passed away this evening at age 81. Reporter Chris Martinez has a look back at the senator's career and life.
His straight-talking style won Senator John McCain respect, even if people didn't agree with his politics. His war experience helped him win the 2008 Republican presidential nomination and President Bush's blessing.
John showed incredible courage, and strength of character, and perseverance in order to get to this moment. And that's exactly what we need in a president.
That strength of character was shaped by military service and adversity. McCain's father and grandfather were both admirals, and young John followed them into the service. But as a Navy fighter pilot in 1967, McCain crashed and was captured by the North Vietnamese. During 5 years of captivity, the Viet Cong tortured McCain's body, but they never broke his spirit.
I'm sure that I will get well.
McCain later brought that same fighting spirit to politics. His independence often angered members of his own party.
Boy, that's outrageous.
In Congress, McCain worked to strengthen the military, rein in government spending, and reform campaign finance.
Don't tell me what we can't do. Don't tell me we can't make our country stronger and the world safer. We can. We must.
After losing the 2008 presidential election to Barack Obama, McCain faced a difficult primary challenge for his Senate seat in 2010, but he persevered and won.
I intend to go back to Washington, and I intend to get to work.
McCain was married twice and had 7 children. His second wife, Cindy, a philanthropist, was often by her husband's side during his campaign appearances and his battles with cancer. He was first diagnosed with melanoma in 1993. Then in July 2017, doctors found a brain tumor. He made a triumphant return to the Senate and cast a deciding vote on health care. McCain's dedication to family and country and his courage of conviction won him admiration worldwide. To his many fans, John McCain was and always will be a real American hero. Chris Martinez, CBS News.
We now have some live pictures we want to show you. Look at this helicopter shot of a long motorcade, probably going to be even miles long, as Senator McCain's body, from what we're being told, is being transported to Phoenix. As you can tell, they're getting a police escort. Again, live pictures here. Senator John McCain's body, and of course he was resided in a state that he has loved for decades and decades. And of course, we're going to continue our coverage. Wow, look at how that just snakes, how that motorcade's, boy, that is really a great shot from this aerial view from the helicopter here. Let's continue to talk about Senator McCain in this way. He knew the importance of Ohio during a presidential race. He lost our state to Barack Obama in 2008. 2012, he stopped by our studios right here as he was campaigning for Mitt Romney.
The eyes of the world will be on the state of Ohio on election night. I promise you that.
Senator McCain's family issued statements on Twitter tonight. His wife Cindy tweeted this: "My heart is broken. I am so lucky to have lived the adventure of loving this incredible man for 38 years. He passed the way he lived on his terms, surrounded by the people he loved in the place he loved best." His daughter, Megan McCain, tweeted this: "I was with my father at the end as he was with me at the beginning. He raised me, taught me, corrected me, encouraged me, and supported me in all things." President Trump tweeted, "My deepest sympathies and respect go out to the family of Senator John McCain. Our hearts and prayers are with you." And former President Obama, who Senator McCain went up against, of course, in the 2008 presidential election, released a statement saying this: "John McCain and I were members of different generations, came from completely different backgrounds, and competed at the highest levels of politics. But we shared the ideals which generations of Americans and immigrants alike have fought for, marched, and sacrificed." He went on to say, Michelle and I send our most heartfelt condolences to Cindy and the family. Matt Borges is the former head of the Ohio Republican Party. He has been assisting the McCain family with funeral arrangements. He's been kind enough to come in tonight and share his thoughts on McCain's passing with you. Matt, thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
For being here. How do we go about framing John McCain's impact on American politics?
Well, I think he's somebody that we have to look at as someone who embodied honor and courage, an American hero, somebody who served his country and was a prisoner of war, came back, believed very much in public service, served for a great deal of time in the United States Congress as both a member of the House and the United States Senate, and really loved his country, loved his family. Put those things first. Remember, the motto of his campaign in 2008 was country first.
Right.
And we have seemed to stray a long way from the path of dignity and honor that Senator McCain showed us. And it's, maybe the opportunity of his passing will be a little bit of a chance for us all to reflect on maybe getting back to some of the things that he held so dear.
There's going to be a vacuum there, isn't there, when it comes to that statesmanly attribute in politics?
I'd ask anyone tonight, when you have some time in the next few days, go ahead, get on YouTube, take a look at his concession speech from November of 2008. I was standing right next to the stage when he gave it. It's still very impactful today. And try to imagine somebody giving that kind of speech now. It almost seems so far away. It was only 10 years ago, but it was one of dignity and respect, and it really embodied kind of the individual that he was, and how honorably he served, both in victory and one of the most bitter defeats that he ever faced in his life that night. He still was able to manage that with incredible dignity.
And you worked on that campaign. Stick around. We'll take a break in a little bit and we'll talk more about that.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Matt, for being here. And again, we'll have more with Matt coming up in just a few minutes as we continue to remember Senator John McCain. Parts of Hawaii have been swamped in recent days by nearly 4 feet of rain from what is now Tropical Storm Lane. In many places, it is still pouring as the storm slowly moves away from the islands. 10 TV's Sarah Johnson spoke to a local man who now lives in Hawaii. He talked about the islands taking a beating in recent months, too.
Here in Pahoa has been kind of interesting in the last 3 months, or actually 3.5 months now.
Reynoldsburg High School graduate Jeffrey Wise now calls Hawaii home. But in the last 3.5 months, his safety at home has been in jeopardy.
Nobody knew where the fissures were going to open. Like they could have opened just as easily in this backyard where I am right now.
In May, Wise stood just yards away as a volcano spewed hot lava into Hawaii's Leilani estate. Cell phone video captured the molten geyser and ash.
A lot of people actually lost their homes. I think if I remember correctly, over 600 homes were taken by the lava.
And now his island is in the midst of torrential downpours, a result of Hurricane Lane, later downgraded to a tropical storm. The storm's decreasing strength came as a relief, but its sheer presence still caused damage.
Apparently there was a torrent of water that took over the road probably around 8:30 or 9 o'clock last night.
Wise, who has called the island home for nearly 3 years, says Hawaiians are a community-oriented group of people. He says folks have been helping one another both brace for and clean up from the heavy rains. And this Ohio native says he too has chipped in, not leaving much time to record the water damage to his community.
It seems like everybody's just kind of exhausted.
And as those who have been on guard for weeks prepare to stand down, Jeffrey Wise says he's grateful this storm cut his island and its resilient people a break.
Those of us in Puna, it has been an exhausting 3.5 months. And we're all kind of breathing a sigh of relief that this hurricane was not as bad as it could have been.
In Columbus, Sierra Johnson, 10 TV News.
Tropical Storm Lane isn't clearing out for another few days, so all the islands are expecting more rain and high surf. That brings the potential for mudslides and more flooding, especially on the Big Island where the ground is already really saturated. Speaking of weather, let's check in here a little bit early with Doppler 10 meteorologist Jeff Booth. He is here to track, well, you've been watching that storm as well, and of course our local forecast.
Exactly, yeah, and Lane is now a tropical storm. It has winds at right around 50 miles an hour, and this was a close call for him. Did not take a direct hit with the strongest hurricane hurricane force winds. Thank goodness for that. Take a look at what's going on with Lane. It looks like it's going to continue to push its way off to the west, and it will continue to weaken as it does so, looking like it should become a remnant low sometime late tomorrow, if not early on Monday, and then it's going to kind of curve back up and make its way through the Pacific. Here, we had a little rain earlier. Now just a couple of spotty showers here or there, but generally looking at dry conditions for most of us. It's 74 and muggy right now. 72 in Newark, 70 in Mount Vernon. We're in the upper 60s over in McConnellsville, Athens, and Caldwell, though. Let's take a look out downtown at the Capitol Square. Camera there's a little bit out of focus, but you can see things there moving along pretty well as we jump on over into Utica out at Velvet Ice Cream. That's a pretty nice night out there as well. Again, it is warm, though. It is muggy, and we'll actually drop down into the upper 60s to right around 70. So a steamy start to your Sunday. Looking like we will see the chance for some rain in the mid to late morning. We had a little dry time heading into the afternoon. Clouds build, possibly a few pop-ups here or there, but warm and muggy on your Sunday. I'll let you know what days could get into the 90s coming up in just a bit, Scott.
All right, Jeff, thanks. As we continue tonight here on the news at 11 o'clock, we do remember Senator John McCain. When we come back, we will talk again to former Ohio GOP head Matt Borges about McCain's legacy, plus the funeral arrangements being made for the senator. Welcome back, everyone. Some earlier pictures from tonight. A look at the motorcade carrying the body of Senator John McCain from his home. And now we'll switch it up to some live pictures here. I think we're going to go back to those aerial pictures, yes. So the motorcade making its way from his home in Sedona to Phoenix. Senator McCain died today after his battle with brain cancer. He was 81. We're back now with more from former Ohio GOP head Matt Borges, who's been assisting the McCain family with funeral arrangements. Matt, I know you're heading to D.C. tomorrow. Thank you for coming in tonight. You first met the senator, the way I understand it, when you went to work for it.
That's right. They hired me. I knew of the senator, and of course I knew of his reputation. And let me just say that when I got to meet him and work with him, I found him to be somewhat different than what I had heard. He had a legendary temper, and
a little bit,
and I really never experienced that with him. And we were in some tough spots together. And as you know, over the course of that campaign, as we got toward the waning days, it was hard. It was hard to go to work today, knowing that we were really swimming against the stream. And he never lost his dignity. He never lost his sense of humor, and really tried to work hard and show an example to all of us to go to work every day and push hard through the end, and that's what we did. And we came up short, but again, as I mentioned before, he handled that with incredible courage and dignity.
In the annals of history, that concession speech goes down as one to follow for future folks who run for the presidency, don't you think?
Someday I hope that we can see our politics get back to a level where we were that night.
You were talking about, what was he like just behind the scenes when you're talking policy? I mean, you're talking about a man who could get in the weeds on policy, and then he could also tell you who was pitching 3 days out for his beloved D-backs.
Well, you're absolutely right about him being an incredible sports fan. He'd get in the car in the morning, a lot of times in the motorcade, and want to talk about the Suns game from the previous night, and just want to talk to someone about sports. Big sports fan, loved Steve Nash, and was a big Diamondbacks fan, as you mentioned. But also incredible depth of knowledge about policy. When we would do these town hall events all over the country, he had a rule to let anyone ask any question that they wanted. Nothing was scripted. It was not one of those kinds of things where you handed out cards and we picked we would pre-select the questions that would be asked. And we also had we have a rule in politics and in advance work that you never hand the microphone off at a live event to anyone. And he made us do that, so that he could have one-on-one conversations with these people, and any question that they wanted to ask, he would answer it. And so whether it was the issue of the day or something very esoteric that was going on in Congress, he always had answers for these people, and it was really remarkable to watch. So from the very mundane to the deepest of issues, whether they were water issues or cafe standards, you name it, he had answers for everyone at every one of those events.
If you're kind of filling in this blank here, you'll remember him. You'll remember John McCain as what? Tireless.
He was the oldest person on the team, and he was the one with the most energy, and then really showed us all an example of how to act with dignity, how to act with courage and honor. and that the opportunities that we all had in front of us to not only work on the campaign, but then maybe go serve in public life. He was a United States Senator, wanted to become President of the United States. That was also an honor, right. That we needed to understand that if we did get that opportunity to serve in that capacity, it was to serve our country, not to serve ourselves. Mm-hmm. And that was something he preached, and we heard him say that till his very last days, that he felt like his goal and his mission in life was to serve a purpose greater than himself. And he preached that about all of us looking to serve a purpose greater than ourselves. And that's something that a lot of us have tried to emulate and follow.
I know that you're going to keep serving his family by flying to D.C. tomorrow to help out with continued arrangements for the family. Safe travels.
Thank you. It's an honor to have been asked, and it's an opportunity to serve the senator one last time.
We'll catch up to you on the other side.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Matt. We do appreciate it. And again, we'll bring you more on those services to honor Senator John McCain as we learn them. You can see more about his life and legacy on 10tv.com. We'll turn the page here and talk about our forecast. Here's Jeff.
Hey, thank you so much, Scott. Yeah, we had a little rain earlier today, and we've had a chance to dry out a little bit, but we still have a couple of showers here or there. 74 is your current temperature. It's muggy. We have that dew point up in the upper 60s, so very steamy out there. And as we take a look at your Doppler 10 radar, we've had a couple of showers start to flare back up just east of the city, and we will see the chance for a few spotty showers here or there as we head through the evening and overnight, with a little better chance for more scattered rain rolling on through mid-morning, probably sometime after 5, 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, and into the first part, really the middle part of the morning. We taper off those as we head towards lunchtime. A couple of showers just east of Newark, and you know, if you had a chance to get out there and see the moon, it is big and bright. This is from Kathy Froberg, a very eerie looking moon there. It's actually full tomorrow morning at 7:56 in the morning, known as the full sturgeon moon, because this was the time of year that sturgeon were more easily caught in the Great Lakes, also called the full green corn moon. And if you've been driving around the country at all, you probably know why it's called the full green corn moon. That corn is actually very green. Give me your photographs. It's very easy to tweet them to me at Jeff Booth 10TV. Find me on Facebook at Jeff 10TV. I might just use them on the air. So we are going to see those pollen levels spike a little tomorrow, but really ramp up on Monday and Tuesday. And it does look like we are going to see a temperature trend that gets us back into the 90s by Tuesday. Front comes through here Wednesday. We do cool off a little bit by the end of the 7-day, but as we look really ahead towards the first week of September, it does look like above average conditions will keep with us. So here's what we're looking at tonight. Hour by hour, we have the chance for some rain, especially tomorrow morning in the mid-morning into the late morning hours. Notice things quiet down, though, as we roll towards lunchtime. Rolling on in towards 6 o'clock, a few more pop-up showers and storms will develop. It's not an all-day washout by any means, but we will see the chance for rain early, and then a few spotty showers late in the day. More of us will miss than hit those showers. Just keep that in mind. So 87 tomorrow, 89 on Monday, 91 on Tuesday. It will feel like we are well into the 90s, though, once you factor in the heat and humidity. A front comes through here with showers on Wednesday. We cool off a little Thursday and Friday, and then we warm right back up as we hit the end of the 10-day. We're coming right back with sports, so don't go anywhere.
Welcome back, everybody. Dom and Dave off, so Jeff and I are going to take care of you with sports. So let's begin with the Ohio State football team.
At this time next week, the Buckeyes, they're going to be done with their first game of the season with Oregon State, believe it or not. Today, the team, though, made a big announcement. The captains for the 2018 football team, they were announced today after a team vote. 7 players were voted to the honor. They include preseason All-American defensive lineman Nick Bosa, wide receiver Johnny Dixon, defensive tackle Isaiah Prince, safety Jordan Fuller, and linebacker Tuff Borland. Terry McLaurin and Paris Campbell return as captains for the coming season.
Coming up tonight on Wall to Wall Sports, delivered to you by Donato's. Former OSU linebacker Bobby Carpenter joins Dave Holmes to talk about the suspension of Urban Meyer and how that will affect the team. Plus, we'll get his thoughts on the whole season to overall. That's coming up tonight in just a few minutes, 11:35, and only right here on 10 TV. High school football on Saturday night. DeSales playing Dayton Dunbar, and it was all Stallions in this one. First play from scrimmage. Reno Godfrey rolls out here and finds Anthony Schiaroni all by himself. Look at that, 67 yards. A little bit later, touchdown. DeSales has a 7-zip lead. Stallions up 14-0 in the first. Dunbar looking for the pass, but Owen Faulkner, watch this, steps right in front. Interception, nice little spin move right there, all the way to the end zone. This one was all Stallions. DeSales wins it, 35-zip.
And the Cincinnati Bengals played their third preseason game on Sunday up in Buffalo against the Bills. Former Buckeye Sam Hubbard got his first strip sack of his NFL career last week versus the Cowboys. He says he's settling in with his role, and he's loving his role with the Bengals. He's happy to learn.
Just been put in a great situation, great group of older guys around us, and just great D-line room, great offensive coordinator, and just trusting in the process. And I'm not surprised. Put in a lot of work, but just going to continue to trust the process and get better.
So the Diamond Clippers in Toledo playing the Mud Hens scoreless in the first inning. Columbus has a man on second, and Bobby Bradley sends him home on a double to left. But that would be all the Clippers scoring. They lose this one 5-1.
The best of IndyCar in St. Louis tonight. New Albany native Graham Rahal finished 10th, while Stockdale's Zach Veach finished 5th. In the end, it was Will Power with the victory. Alexander Rossi, he came in second, and Scott Dixon finished 3rd.
Under the lights for that one. We will check your forecast one more time when we come back. Stay right there. Back to our top story. Political leaders from across the nation are remembering Senator John McCain. Governor Kasich tweeted, "I will miss my old friend," and said, "Few have served their country so well and for so long." Senator McCain died today at the age of 81. You can see plenty more about his life and legacy right now. We have it for you online at 10tv.com. Before we wrap it up and send it to sports for wall to wall, we'll check our forecast one more time.
Well, it looks like we're going to deal with a couple of shots at rain tomorrow. In the morning, probably sometime after about 5, 6 o'clock, chance for some rain. It should be tapering off as we head past 9 or 10. We get a little dry time in the middle of the day, and then a couple of pop-up storms will be possible as we head past 4 or 5 o'clock. Now, those ones in the afternoon, they're going to be very few and far between. More of us will miss than hit them, so don't cancel your outdoor plans. Keep an eye to the sky. Keep in mind it's going to be warm and muggy, not just tomorrow, but also Monday and Tuesday. Heat index values on Monday and Tuesday will get well into the 90s.
That's going to do it for us tonight. Of course, we will have more for you overnight, online, and the news tomorrow on the passing of legendary politician and statesman John McCain. Thanks for joining us tonight.